The Hey Eddie podcast is brought to you by. Have you ever wondered who's the greatest? Is it you? Is it your friend? Is it that kid who can burp the alphabet? Now you can know for sure with the Greatnessometer. Just point it at anyone and it measures how great they are. Let's try it out. Beep, beep, beep. Okay, pointing it at the kid with the most trophies. Oh, very high score. Now pointing it at the captain of the soccer team. Wow, even higher. Now let's try it on. Wait, why is it pointing at the kid in the corner? The one picking up everyone's trash after lunch. The one who gave his seat to the new kid. Ding, 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 ding. Whoa, it's off the charts. Huh, that's weird. It says here, greatness detected, servant of all, first place. I think this thing is broken. Or maybe it's the only one that actually works. The Greatnessometer. Results may surprise you. This is the Hey Eddie podcast. I'm your host, Cousin Michael. The Hey Eddie podcast is dedicated to helping kids like my cool cousin Eddie learn about the Bible and learn important lessons about God, about Jesus, and about life. The Bible is indeed God's gift to kids, a lamp to our feet and a light to our path. On today's episode of the Hey Eddie podcast, we're going to be studying Mark chapter 9, verses 30 through 50, in a lesson titled, Who's the Greatest? This lesson will teach us that real greatness in God's kingdom looks like serving others, not climbing over them. Our key memory verse is Mark chapter 9, verse 35. Anyone who wants to be first must be the very last and the servant of all. Hey Eddie, quick question. Have you ever wanted to be the best at something? Maybe you wanted to be the fastest runner, or the kid with the highest score, or the one who gets picked first for the team. Yeah, the disciples wanted that too, and Jesus caught them arguing about it. Today's story has a lot going on. Jesus talks about being a servant, welcoming little kids, not being a gatekeeper, and even some really serious stuff about sin. It's packed. Ready? Let's go. So Jesus and his disciples were walking through Galilee, and Jesus was teaching them something really important. He said, "The Son of Man is going to be handed over to people who will kill him, but after 3 days he will rise again." This was the second time Jesus told them this. You'd think they'd get it by now, right? But nope. Mark tells us they didn't understand, and they were too scared to ask him what he meant. Maybe they didn't want to understand. Maybe it was just too sad to think about. But here's the crazy part. Right after Jesus told them he was going to die for them, guess what they started doing? They started arguing about who was the greatest. Yeah, Jesus just said, "I'm going to give up my life for you." And they were like, cool, but who's the best disciple? Is it me? I think it's me. When they got to a house in Capernaum, Jesus sat down and asked them, "So, what were you guys arguing about on the road?" Silence. Nobody wanted to answer. They knew it was embarrassing, but Jesus already knew, and he said something that probably blew their minds. If anyone wants to be first, he must be the very last and the servant of all. Wait, what? You want to be great? Then serve everyone else. Don't try to be the boss, be the helper. Don't push to the front. Go to the back of the line and ask, "How can I help you?" That's upside down from how the world works, isn't it? Then Jesus did something amazing. He brought over a little child, probably about your age, Eddie, and stood him right in the middle of the group. And then he picked the kid up in his arms and said, "Whoever welcomes one of these little children in my name welcomes me. And whoever welcomes me welcomes the one who sent me." Now here's the thing. Back in those days, kids weren't considered very important. They didn't have money, they didn't have power, they couldn't do anything for you. But Jesus said, "You want to welcome me? Then welcome them, the little ones, the ones nobody notices, the ones who can't pay you back." That's what greatness looks like in God's kingdom. Then John, one of Jesus' disciples, said something interesting. "Teacher, we saw a guy casting out demons in your name, but he wasn't a part of our group. So we told him to stop. Basically, he's not on our team, so we shut him down." But Jesus said, "Don't stop him. No one who does a miracle in my name can turn around and say bad things about me. Whoever is not against us is for us." And then he added this, Anyone who gives you even a cup of water because you belong to me will be rewarded. See, the disciples were being gatekeepers. They thought they got to decide who was in and who was out. But Jesus said, if someone is helping in my name, don't block them, be grateful. It's not about your team. It's about Jesus' team. And his team is bigger than you think. Then Jesus got very serious. He said, if anyone causes one of these little ones who believes in me to stumble, it would be better for that person to have a giant millstone tied around their neck and be thrown into the sea. Whoa, that's intense. A millstone was a huge, heavy stone used to grind grain. We're talking hundreds of pounds. Jesus was saying, it is a very big deal if you hurt someone's faith or lead them away from me. Don't be the person who makes it harder for others to follow Jesus. Be the person who makes it easier. Then Jesus said things that sound pretty shocking. He talked about cutting off your hand or foot or eye if it causes you to sin. Now, he didn't mean that literally. He wasn't telling people to actually hurt themselves, but he was saying sin is serious. Don't mess around with it. If something in your life keeps pulling you away from God, whether it's a habit or a show or the way you treat people, deal with it. Get rid of it. Don't let it drag you down. It's better to go through life without that thing than to let it wreck your relationship with God. Finally, Jesus said something kind of weird. Salt is good, but if it loses its saltiness, how can you make it salty again? Have salt among yourselves and be at peace with each other. Okay, what does that mean? Well, salt does two things. It adds flavor and it preserves stuff. It keeps it from going bad. Jesus was saying, be the kind of person who makes things better. Add flavor to the people around you. And preserve what's good, like friendship and kindness and peace. And the last part, be at peace with each other. Don't argue about who's the greatest. Don't shut people out because they're not in your group. Don't trip people up. Instead, get along. Serve each other. Be at peace. So what does this mean for you? First, real greatness means serving others. Don't push to be first. Ask, how can I help? Second, welcome the little ones. Be kind to kids, to the new kid, to the one nobody notices. That's how you welcome Jesus. Third, don't be a gatekeeper. If someone loves Jesus and is doing good in his name, even if they're not in your group, cheer them on. Fourth, take sin seriously. If something keeps pulling you away from God, deal with it. Don't let it stick around. Fifth, be salty and be at peace. Add flavor, preserve what's good, and get along with each other. Jesus didn't come to be served. He came to serve and to give his life for others. And if we follow him, that's the kind of people we become too. This has been the Hey Eddie Podcast. I'm your host, Cousin Michael. Remember that the Hey Eddie Podcast is dedicated to studying the Bible and learning important lessons about God, about Jesus, and about life. Today we discussed Mark chapter 9, verses 30 through 50. Tune in soon for another episode of the Hey Eddie Podcast, where we'll study Mark chapter 10, verses 1 through 16. Love you, Eddie.